Greetings, everyone. GleeCon here again, back with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we took a spin around the block with Varrock, and he strolled through the Southern Barrens and did a competent job killing various semi-uncommon quest drop mobs and some Bristleboar cut tusk after tusk. We tried out the new add-on voiceover, so you get to hear less of me. I know that is nice, at least when we're looking at some. Well, I wouldn't say it was professional voices, but some bot voices that have superhuman skills. And we had an enjoyable little run. We had no deaths until I basically suicide ran into a pack of 4 elites at the end, just to see if I could. Spoiler, I couldn't. So check that out on that episode if you want to see some classic Barons questing and a suicide rush to cap it off. We've also been reading the Dungeons & Dragons content, the last source book material called Dark Factions. We've been reading about said Dark Factions in the 7th chapter, and we finished off the Deathiest Brotherhood last time, which was pretty cool. And we are now going to be cracking into the Dragonflight, so stay a while and listen. As we talk about the first of the Dragonflights, it is the Black Dragonflight. It does say Azeroth is home to 5 Dragonflights, characterized and separated by their colors black, blue, bronze, green, and red. I discuss each of them in turn below, except the Blue Dragonflight, which has already been discussed in a previous book, so we're only going to talk about 4 of the 5. Also, if you want a baby of your very own of each Dragonflight in retail, if you do the little dragon, I don't even remember, it's a daycare, little dragon daycare center or something like that. You can go through a series of daily quests. It's pretty much the only thing I do. I've been playing a very, very little retail lately. There's just not a lot of draw for me. I don't feel like giving. I'm not into the grind of just grinding, getting my item level up so I can do, I don't know, the latest mega dungeon. I can't get picked up because my item level's a little bit too low. So I've just entered a spot where I'm having a lot more fun with all the other games, including this show. But I have been logging on to both work on getting my racing snail up to full reputation, and you get a baby black, a baby red, a baby bronze, and I'm currently working on the baby blue. So that means the green must be the 5th one. But we're going to talk about black right now. Unknown number of people or dragons in the Black Dragonflight. It's actually, it seems like it's a sizable amount, the amount that you have to kill, and they are chaotic evil. At this point, I'm guessing in Classic they're still fully under the sway of Neltharion. Neltharion, and then his child, Nefarian. Onyxia's dragon spawn followers control the southwestern portion of the Duskwallow Marsh, but the majority of black dragons do not appear to control much territory. Nefarian, one of Deathwing's strongest children, controls the Spire in the guise of Lord Victor Nefarious. Many of Nefarian's followers spend time in the Burning Steppes and the Searing Gorge. I also know about one black dragon in the Blastlands, Teramis the Devourer. I have no idea what he's doing there, nor do I plan to ask. The Black Dragonflight focuses on expanding its power at the cost of all else. They often do this by masquerading as nobles of other races, then using magic to manipulate members of that race to gain political power. And here we have a picture of some of the infamous, both in polymorphed form and in regular form, of the Black Dragonflight down there. Maybe it's one and the same, or maybe it's that bro-sister combo, or maybe it's a generic duo. Black dragons are powerful, terrible, and egocentric. Their race once ruled Azeroth along with the other Dragonflights, and in their pride, they seek to regain their lost influence with no consideration of their ancient responsibilities. Currently, most of the Black Dragonflight fights a number of different foes, including our friends in the Alliance and the Horde, as well as a good number of others, most notably Ragnaros, the Fire Elemental Lord. Neither of them likes the other, but both lack the numbers for a full assault. If that ever changes, it's hard to say who would be the victor. Once the Black Dragons were led by Neltharion the Earth Warder, but somewhere along the line his sanity slipped. Neltharion snapped during the War of the Ancients, planning to betray the other Dragonflights. Somewhere along the line, Neltharion created the Dragon Soul, which would later be renamed the Demon Soul, and changed his name to Deathwing. Soon enough, he turned it against the other Dragonflights as planned, but the artifact was stolen and turned over to forces of the Burning Legion. Toward the end of the war, though, Malfurion, Stormrage, and his allies retrieved the Demon Soul, and at the direction of the saner dragon aspects, hid it far away. That was a solid 10,000 years ago, but Deathwing showed himself again in the Second War and wrought havoc on the Alliance forces. This time, he had a mortal agent use the Demon Soul to capture Alexstrasza, the Red Dragon aspect, and thus subjugate the Red Dragonflight. He also disguised himself as a human Lord Davil Prestor and tried to marry Lordaeron's princess. I wonder where Kalia is these days. She's questing in Stone Talon Mountains. That's a pretty good question. I'll have to look into that. And currently she is the leader of the Forsaken. Needless to say, the other dragon... sorry for the spoiler. The other dragon aspects were furious that Deathwing was on the assault again, and they worked together to drive him off and free the Dragon Queen. I haven't heard anything about him since that time. These days, it's Deathwing's children who wreak havoc, primarily Onyxia and Nefarian, who I already mentioned. The Black Dragonflight is not known for having positive relationships with, well, anyone. Actually, scratch that. I suppose you could say that they have a good relationship with Warchief Ren's fake horde. Ren has fallen, yeah, it's good in air quotes, because, like, so much so, like, to the extent that you could have a good relationship with your slaves. Ren has fallen into Nefarian's service, and thus the entire pseudo-horde serves the Black Dragonflight by extension. As I mentioned previously, however, not many others are pleased with the Black Dragons. The Blacks count all 4 other Dragonflights, the Argent Dawn, the Horde, and the Alliance among their enemies. The Twilight's Hammer doesn't get along with the Black Dragonflight either, since Nefarian's forces oppose Ragnaros and the Dark Iron Dwarves in Blackrock Depths. Little formal organization exists within the Black Dragonflight. Most Black Dragons follow the instructions of another only if they either expect a benefit or they're confident that the other dragon could eat them. Nefarian probably maintains control over a few other Black Dragons and Dragon Spawn, but most of his efforts focus around the creation of a new chromatic Dragonflight. He is intent on succeeding where his father failed, and what I've seen so far indicates that he has had some level of success. That's not a good sign for any of us. Nothing much to say here beyond what I've already covered. Blackrock Spire and the Blackwing Lair inside serve as the base of operations for Nefarian's brood, which is the largest known group of Black Dragons still around. Presumably Deathwing is at work somewhere else, but I have no idea where that might be yet. That's something that we learn more about in Cataclysm. Well, no one really joins the Black Dragonflight, so membership is a sort of a funny concept to discuss. You're either born a Black Dragon or you serve them. That's pretty much it. Okay, their leaders. Well, there's Deathwing, formerly Neltharion the Earth Warder, also known as Lord Davil Prestor, a male Black Dragon aspect. In the earliest days of Azeroth, Neltharion was the mighty Earth Warder, chosen by the Titans as one of the 5 protectors of Azeroth. I've already discussed what happened since. He's completely insane and evil now. No one knows where he is. That disturbs me. Creatures that powerful don't just disappear. Nefarian, also known as Blackwing, also known as Lord Victor Nefarious, the male Black Dragon. It's only a matter of time before Nefarian unleashes his growing chromatic dragons on the world. For that reason, I think it'd be smart to take him out now, but maybe that's just me. See the monster guide for more information on Nefarian. I don't remember who the Black Dragon aspect that we kind of work with that's good now in Dragonflight is. I don't remember who that is. Onyxia is a female Black Dragon. Onyxia controls much of Dustwallow Marsh, but she also has a human persona in Stormwind, Lady Katrana Prestor. As Lady Katrana, she corrupts the leaders of the city and makes certain Stormwind's armed forces will not mobilize against her brother in Blackrock Spire. She torched southern Dustwallow, and I suspect she'll be causing Lady Jane and Proudmoore a real headache sometime in the near future. See the monster guide for more information on her and her stat block. All right, we're already wrapping up. Well, what if you wanted to be a hero and be involved with the Black Dragonflight? Well, player characters of the Black Dragonflight are expected to serve their superiors without question. Refusal meets with wrath and violence. A player character could, however, take leadership of part of the Dragonflight simply by demonstrating her strength. However, this new leader could easily be attacked by her own minions as time goes on. While some mortals serve the Black Dragonflight, they are considered inferior creatures. Only powerful dragon spawn are respected. Lesser racers such as orcs and humans are just creatures to be used, although the Black Dragons respect the power of certain individuals. And there's a couple adventure hooks to wrap us up. Nefarian unleashes the chromatic dragons and they serve him for a time before breaking free of his control and attempting to become an independent faction. And finally, a thorium brotherhood craftsman invents a new formula for an enchanted shield. He wants to actually craft one of the shields before he starts advertising it, though, to make sure the formula is flawless. He offers to sell the first shield at a 50% discount to anyone who returns with the proper ingredients, including the hide of a black dragon. I wonder if that's a quest in there, if there's some kind of classic seed germ of actual questing. We'll find out way later. All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching and for listening. This is it. We have another episode in the pipe, 5x5. I will see you all next time on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.